Please, if you're there, you can hear me. Please type a yes. Let me know you can hear me loud and clear. Are we there? Okay, somebody has responded. All right, thank you, Mr. Solomon. Any other person? Madam Onaji, thank you. Good afternoon. All right, so let's start. So this afternoon session, we have a lot of fundamental events from 2:15 till 4 p.m. and even later tonight by 9 p.m. I would say as much as possible, try to avoid technical trade because there are a lot of fundamental events and the market can be unstable due to this event. So the first event coming up is from the Eurozone by 2:15 and is the main refinancing rate and is followed simultaneously by the monetary policy statement. Now, I wouldn't personally, this is my view from my own experience, I wouldn't want us to bother so much about this news. And this is my reason for it. Though the news from the Eurozone on the main refinancing rate comes out, I mean, we're expecting an actual. There's a forecast, and we're anticipating the release of the actual. But the monetary policy statement is a speech, and we don't know how it's going to affect the euro when the speech is made. Sometimes it may go the opposite direction to the outcome of the data on main refinancing rates. And as such, the market may be unstable when it's released. So I want us to put our focus on the unemployment claims from the United States by 2:30. That one will be tradable. And it's just one item event by 2:30 p.m. on the dollar. Afterwards, there will still be ECB press conference also, which is from the Eurozone, which might be unstable. Then there'll be IV PMI by 4 p.m. from Canada. This, I would say, are the two events, though the most important one is actually the unemployment claims from the United States. But the IV PMI is actually a medium impact event. It may not impact upon the market so much, though on the technicals is showing signs that there could be the possibility of volatility. We'll check that together. So we can just hold that on one hand and just focus on these two events. Let's leave out the Euro events for this afternoon and focus on the United States and possibly Canada. All right, so with that being said, I'm going to switch. Okay, before I switch over for the unemployment claims, let's quickly look at what it entails. For the unemployment claims, the source of this data is the Department of Labor from the United States. So that tells us that it's an authentic source. In the US, they call it Department of Labor. Here in Nigeria, it's ministry. They use the word ministry, but they call it department over there. So it's a government agency. And this news is going to measure the number of individuals who filed for unemployment insurance for the first time during the past week. So every week, people who are unemployed, they file for unemployment insurance. They register their data to say they are not employed. So the government takes note, they take into account all the data. Why does the government take note of this data? Because they need to prepare stipends for them. Over there in the US, when someone is unemployed, is entitled to a stipend from the government, but they need to file for the unemployment insurance first before he gets that. So the data we're expecting now is the data of those who filed for unemployment insurance in the past week. And for the effect of this news, we see that the actual less than forecast is good for the currency, meaning the lesser number of people who file for this report, the better for the government. It means the government will not be spending too much money on giving stipends to unemployed people. If the number is high, it's actually bad for the government because it means government will be paying stipends on a high rate to those who are unemployed. So that's why actual less than forecast is actually good for the currency. The frequency, this data is released weekly, usually on the first Thursday after the weekend. So today is the first Thursday after the week that ended last week, Friday. Today is the next Thursday after it. That's why the data is to be released today. So if the actual comes out less than forecast, like I said, that will be good for the dollar. And if it's good for the dollar, that means we're going to anticipate a bullish movement, on the dollar. That means we'll be looking at an opportunity to buy the dollar if the news comes out as actual less than forecast. And if on the other hand, the news comes out actual greater than forecast, in which case I said it will be bad for the dollar, then we'll expect a decline in the dollar. And secondly, the IV PMI is another one we'll look at. Now for the IV PMI, this data is going to be released by Richard Ivey School of Business. and it measures the level of a diffusion index based on surveyed purchasing managers. And actual greater than forecast is good for the currency. Frequency released monthly, about 5 days after the month ends. Now, the month of February ended last week, I think Friday thereabouts, and that's why we're having it just about 5 days after, which is today. Today is the 6th of March. That's 5 days after the month of February ended. So for this, in this particular instance, actual greater than forecast is expected to be good for the currency, meaning that if the data is released, we have the forecast as 50.6. If the data comes out and the actual is greater than 50.6, it means we are expecting to buy the Canadian dollar. And if on the other hand, the actual comes out less than 50.6, in that instance, might be looking to sell the Canadian dollar. So these two events may impact both of them combined. That's the unemployment claims and IVPMI. The currency pair that might be impacted most by these two events is actually the United States dollar and the Canadian dollar. That's the USD card. And I'll show you how that will work on the chart. Now, at this point, I'll flip over to the technicals. We'll look at the chart and we'll look specifically first at the dollar, what we anticipate will happen to the dollar. Now, there's the dollar index, and we can see dollar index is all red. I give a view on dollar index right from January, and I said for the month of February and March, I anticipate a bearish movement on the dollar, and that we've seen it happen. It's happening, and dollar is dropping massively. I've given this analysis from the second or third thereabouts in the month of January, and we've been seeing a crash in the dollar on a steady note from that point in time. You can see in the last 3 days alone, we've seen a massive drop, in the dollar. Now, this bearish trend it tells us of a long-term bearish movement on the dollar. So we hold a bearish outlook on the dollar. Now, if the news from the United States this afternoon comes out bad for the dollar, it will be bad for the dollar if the actual comes out greater than the forecast. We'll expect a further bearish movement on the dollar. And in that instance, the currency pair we're looking at trading will be the USD-CHF. We're looking at trading the USD-CHF for the unemployment claims. There's the unemployment claims. You can see the dollar index has been bearish, and so also has been the USD-CHF. Seen a bearish, a steady bearish movement on these instruments in the last couple of months now. It's been selling. Now, price is currently on the 4-hour at a support level. The overall trend is bearish, but then we're having a support level here. Now, if the data comes out bad for the dollar, we expect that price will break this support, and we experience a further bearish movement. And that's the outlook I hold for the dollar. But what if, on the other hand, the data comes out good? We don't control these things. We can only use our experience to analyze the market and give you a projection ahead. If the data comes out good for the dollar, the only time I would be looking at buying the dollar is if price breaks out above this this key level, minor support term resistance. But otherwise, I'm looking at a further bearish breakout on the dollar. But if for one reason or the other price reverses until it breaks out above here, it's not yet the time to buy. So I still maintain my bearish outlook, pending any change in the market. So I'm bearish on the unemployment claims data that is expected by 2:30 p.m. thereabout. And for Canada, I'll be looking at the CAD JPY. Now, most of the JPY, they're getting ready for a bullish breakout, though it's more on the swing level. It's more on the 4-hour time frame that we are anticipating a breakout on the JPY, the AUD JPY, the New Zealand JPY, and specifically the CAD JPY. So this is the CAD JPY on 4-hour time frame. On the daily time frame, even on the weekly, let's look at the daily. Price has been trading within a support zone. It has a confirmed support zone. At support level, you are looking for an opportunity to buy. And when we flip to the 4-hour, we're having a falling wedge pattern. And within that falling wedge pattern, we're seeing the formation of an inverse head and shoulder from where we anticipate a bullish breakout. So if the data from Canada for the IVPMI comes out good for the CAD, it will be an opportunity for us to buy the CAD JPY because this instrument is ready, is getting ready for a swing bullish breakout. So if the data comes out good, that means the data is good for the currency. We can look at buying the CAD JPY. Now, finally, where the USD CAD comes into all this is this. Now, I've given a bearish outlook of major pairs, for a while, like I said, and that includes the USD CAD. My view on this for like 2 months now has been a bearish movement on the USD CAD, and it's been forming a head and shoulder steadily in the last like 1 month, which means it's getting ready for a long-term bearish break. If the data from the United States comes out bad for the dollar, which is what we're anticipating. Now, if you check the analysis, we're anticipating a bearish movement on the dollar and a bullish movement on the Canadian dollar. Now, for USD CAD to sell, it means we're expecting the dollar to sell and the CAD to buy. So this is a perfect instrument for this. If the data comes out bad for the dollar and good for the Canadian dollar, then that would trigger a bearish movement on the USD CAD, at least for some pips, it will. So the longer movement may happen more tomorrow when we have NFP and NFP for the United States and employment change for Canada. But for now, we still hold that bearish outlook on the USD CAD. So to cap it all up, we're expecting a possible data where the news will be bad for the dollar so that we can sell the USD CHF by 2:30 p.m. and possibly buy the CAD JPY, by 2:45 p.m. or sorry, by 4 p.m. rather, when the data from Canada will be released for the IVPMI. And we can as well still put our eyes on selling the USD CAD. All right, that'll be all from my end for this analysis. I can see people typing some requests here. I'll attend to, okay, just one. All right, so I'll just attend to this analysis on gold and we can close for the day. Okay, Billions Unlimited. Okay, please, I'll take just these three. I'm actually in a live training in Lagos, so I won't be able to take too much requests. So I look at gold, US oil, and CAD CHF. We'll end the analysis. All right, so let's start with gold. All right, I was doing an analysis this morning and I gave my view on gold. I maintain my bearish outlook on the dollar and a bullish outlook on gold. Why? Gold always goes, or let me say most of the time will go in the opposite direction with the dollar. So we say that it's negatively correlated to the dollar, meaning if the dollar is buying gold, we sell, dollar is selling gold, we buy. Now we have a long-term bearish outlook on the dollar and a bullish outlook on gold. But we won't just look at buying just because of that. We need to check the chart to get confirmation of what is really happening. Now, if you look at gold on the 4-hour time frame, earlier on, price hit a support zone right here, and we saw some bullish movements. I gave it a couple of days back. I said price will hit this resistance, and that happened on Tuesday, generated over 100 pips. Now, this is my next view on gold. Gold is forming an inverse head and shoulder pattern, which will lead to a launch into the bullish direction, which can cash in some very decent amount of pips. At least price, if the breakout happens, price will get to this resistance zone up here. Price is expected to target that level. It may break above it, but at least that level price will surely get there. So let's zoom down to 1-hour time frame. On the 1 hour, it's still the same. Shoulder, inverse head, second shoulder, a breakout. But then that I said I'm bullish does not mean you enter a buy now. Price needs to break above this level because this is the neckline of the head and shoulder. And this is where patience comes with trading. As a trader, you just have to learn to be patient. You need to be patient to see that your analysis works out. Don't trigger a trade on emotions. Wait and see it work in line with your analysis. And when price breaks out above this level, then you can trigger a buy and target that resistance zone as the profit-taking level. And that can generate as much as about 200 pips on the average. A 200 pips on 0.1 lot will give you just $20. $20 with the current exchange rate is over 30,000 naira. And if you're trading on 0.1 lot, depending on your account size, that can give you $200, which is well over 300,000 naira. but the key is patience. Like they say, the patient dog eats the fattest bone. So be patient and let's wait out and see if price will break that level, then we can trigger a buy. And the second analysis is on CAD CHF. Okay, second is on US oil, then the third is on CAD CHF. So we'll look at the US oil. Okay, so this is US oil on the daily time frame, and we can see that yesterday price hit a support zone right there on the daily time frame. So we're anticipating the possible reversal on this instrument. This is 4 hour, and this is 1 hour time frame. Okay. All right, so I'm drawing my trend lines here to form a falling wedge pattern, and I'm anticipating a breakout to the bullish direction on this. Now, for this particular setup, I will need to deploy. I hardly talk about MACD, but for clarity, I will need to deploy it here. Now, we're expecting a breakout in the bullish direction. Price is already trying to break out, above the trend line and the upper zone there. But then our RSI is, let's check, RSI is at 51. But the truth is this price will go higher if the MACD can cross above 0. I don't want to use just RSI at above. It's still early. Even at RSI at 50, it's really way too early. So I'd rather wait for RSI to cross probably around like 55 thereabout, at which point the MACD also will be getting ready to cross out. Then at that point, we can trigger a buy on the US oil. And we can use our Fibonacci tool to gauge our possible profit level. Okay, I think we can, even if we don't want to use a MACD, what I'm saying on the Fibonacci level could also guide us, because at that area, the MACD also possibly could have crossed. That's at this Fibonacci level. That's Fibonacci level 38.2 will be an area we can target for entry, though with other confirmations. And we can use the 2 Fibonacci levels after that as a profit-taking level. And coincidentally, the second Fibonacci level aligns with a previous resistance zone. So price may get to, this is entry, this can be a TP1, and this can be a TP2. So I hold a bullish outlook on the US oil. And the potential profit on this can be in the range of about 60 pips for the TP1 and about 130 pips for the TP2. That's quite a decent one. So we can watch out and see as this evolves. So I'm bullish on the US oil. And finally, CAD CHF. Now, CAD CHF will react the same way the CAD JPY is expected to react. Those are the 2 currency pairs where the Canadian dollar is a base currency. I'm searching for CAD CHF. Okay, let me open a fresh page. Okay, so this is CAD CHF on the daily time frame, and we can clearly see that a couple of days back, price closed as a rejection candle. That was on Monday. Currently, it looks like we have a bearish sentiment on the CAD CHF. But price is actually back to that to the tip of that support zone. So that is still giving us an anticipation of a bullish breakout. Well, to be honest, this is what, okay, I think I'm seeing it clearer. This is what I'm seeing here. It's still going to give us an inverse head and shoulder, but this is not as clear as what I saw, on the on the CAD JPY. But then I still hold a bullish outlook. It's still already back to that support zone. If the data comes out good for the Canadian dollar, we'll see some bullish movement on the CAD CHF. So I'm still bullish on the card CHF, just as I'm bullish on the card JPY. Solomon is asking, what time is the card news? You can always confirm from forexfactory.com, but I'll just flip over to that so that you can see. All right, so this is the Forex Factory page, and the card IVPMI is coming up by 4 p.m. 4 p.m. The news from United States unemployment claims is by 2:30 p.m. So you can take note of that. The website is www.forexfactory. I'm typing that in the comments section. Please let's mute our device as we join this class. www.forexfactory.com. All right, so that'll be the end of this analysis. If you're new on the platform today, you don't have an account with PU Prime, please go back to our website.
Sorry, sir. Hello,
yes,
sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Please, I requested for BTC USD, sir.
I didn't see that.
Okay, I sent it in.
Okay, I'll do that. Please, can you mute? There's a lot of noise coming from your end.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. I'll check it for you, man. No problem.
Thank you very much.
All right, so this is BTC USD. Price dropped last week because of an announcement made by by the US government, not exactly Donald Trump, that the United States was already adopting cryptocurrency as its reserve currency. So cryptocurrency instruments like the BTC, Solana, Ripple, Cardano, and so on went up massively over the weekend, till like Monday last week, after which there was a bearish movement. Sorry, I think sorry, I got it wrong. That was at this last weekend. So by Sunday, Monday, it went up, then it started dropping, afterwards. But then I gave an analysis a couple of days back that if price is unable to break this support zone here, then we may see a bullish movement. And that has happened in the last 3 days. It's been buying. But currently, there's something happening. If you see today's candle, now the day is yet to be over, but this pattern calls for some attention. It looks like it's trying to form a rejection candle. And when you have a rejection candle, in this instance, it means the sellers are trying to force the price downwards. So we can go back to 4-hour time frame and see if there's a technicals to support that. Okay, this is what I'm seeing. On the 4-hour time frame, we have a descending trend line here. The trend is bearish. And there is also a previous support turned resistance that the BTC is responding to right here. That's between this. Sorry, my system is giving me some. All right, between this region, and it's equally impacting upon this other region here. From this is purely technical. And if we go down to 1 hour and 15 minutes, okay, I can draw another trend line here. to form a rising wedge. All this points to a bearish movement. Or let me use the word, a possible bearish movement. Then finally, we have a valid, resistance turn support zone here. All right, so this is my take. If price breaks out below, you can see the current candle is red. It's trying to come down. If a new candle opens below this level, yes, we can look at taking a sell on BTC. And let's check our RSI. RSI is clearly below 50. This is already, in a kind of a seller's zone. We're only waiting for the confirmation of a new candle opening below that support zone, resistance turned support zone. And the MACD is already below zero. Let me zoom out. Yeah, the MACD is already below zero. So it's already like in the bearish zone. The only thing we're waiting for now is for a new candle to open below this level, and you can take a sell on BTC USD. And if you take a sell, what is the projection profit level? The profit projection on a safe note can target this. Definitely it's going to hit this first one. That one is a close one, very close to entry. But the major one here should be Fibonacci 50. And Fibonacci 50 is a critical one because reversal can actually take place from there. So we're looking for something in the range of about some 82 pips on BTC USD if price breaks out below that level. So yeah, all the bearish outlook on the BTC USD. All right, so that will be all from my end this afternoon. Don't forget tomorrow we're having our NFP live trading session. You don't want to miss it. We'll be trading NFP live. NFP means non-farm payroll from the United States. It's the biggest news in Forex market. It comes up the first Friday of every month. You don't want to miss it tomorrow because we're trading live. We'll be giving the live signal, the entry price, the take profit, the stop loss. Time we're taking off is 2:15 p.m. The signal will be released around 2:20, 2:25 thereabout. And the market, the data from the United States will release exactly 2:30. Make sure you join on time. Some people will join around 2:28 and they'll be asking where is signal. Don't get late to the party. Join on time, take your trade on time, and wait for the market to move by 2:30. All right, do enjoy the rest of the day. Bye-bye.